So over the weekend, I came across a video of Bill Gates doing a TED Talk. And I'm going to play the clip here. The TED Talk that was published online was edited to remove a sentence that he said declaring that the coronavirus outbreak is going to require everyone to have a digital certificate or proof of vaccination. Now, why would the TED Talk, which is, ideas worth sharing, why would they remove that? Unless they wanted to hide it. Well, thankfully, I reached out to the author of the article, which was picked up by Zero Hedge. I reached out to her on Twitter because in her article, she said she had the full recording. So we've got the full recording. I'm going to play it for you. But also, something very interesting to note, the head of the St. Louis Federal Reserve said that they want to test every single person in America every single day, and then you'll be given a shiny badge that will determine if you're infected, if you've ever been infected, if you have the antibodies, if you've been vaccinated, all these things. Well, let's go to the clip with Bill Gates, and I'll give you my true feelings on what I think is going on with the coronavirus. Let's go to this clip.
Eventually, what we'll have to have is certificates of who's a recovered person, who's a vaccinated person, because you don't want people moving around the world where you'll have some countries that won't have it under control. Sadly, you don't want to completely block off the ability for those people to go there and come back and move around. So eventually there will be sort of this digital immunity proof that will help facilitate the global reopening up.
Okay, so you heard him say it right there, a digital certificate. Now, from what I understand, I believe this whole thing is nothing to laugh about, okay? I think we need to take this seriously, as we need to take all infectious diseases seriously. But I think that a couple things are happening here. It's being completely blown out of proportion, for one. That the authorities, the powers that be, are using this as a means to remove people's freedoms, to clamp down on the surveillance state. But I also think that this is the Democrats or the deep state or the globalists' last-ditch effort to remove Donald Trump from office. I believe that. You see, they couldn't get him with Russia collusion. They couldn't get him on impeachment. And if you remember, how many times did they say? How many times did they say? You heard them. Oh, we want a recession. We want to crash the economy. We don't care if people are suffering. Okay, Bill Maher said that on HBO. Real talk. So the Democrats are so twisted. The globalist leftists are so twisted that they don't care who dies. They are willing to sacrifice as many lives as it takes to fulfill their agenda. So 30,000 lives expended in the United States because of their agenda, they don't care. How many people have died in all the world wars fulfilling globalist agendas? Okay, and world leader agendas. So this is just a drop in the bucket to them. This is just a little... The economic bump that's going on right now is nothing to them. They don't care. They'll play the long game and they'll wait it out. So I believe that that's what's happening here. I think this whole thing was a bioweapon. It was designed specifically to do what it's doing. And I believe it was designed to crash the American economy, whether it was done in collusion with Chinese scientists and the globalists, the communists, as an effort there, whether it was, in fact, had biomarkers from Fort Detrick. That's entirely possible, as Dr. Shiva stated. But the fact is it's having its intended effect. The authoritarians are clamping down everywhere. So let's go to the clip here we've got of the Federal Reserve head of St. Louis talking about everyone getting tested every day and then having to wear a badge to identify it. And he plays it off like, oh, it's good news. It's good news. It's going to be like when you get a sticker after you're done voting. Yeah. Yeah. The Germans had stickers. They made their people wear ones, didn't they? Let's watch.
Do you think that this global economy is going to look the same on the other side of this pandemic? Are those jobs actually going to exist for people to go back to?
You know, I have good news for you, Margaret, because there is a solution using available technology today to fix the economic part of this problem. The solution is universal testing. What you want is every single person to get tested every day, and then they would wear a badge like they would after they voted or something like that to show that they've been tested. This would immediately sort out who's been infected and who hasn't been infected. That would help the healthcare sector, but it would also help the economy because we could interact with each other with a lot of confidence. Okay.
No, it's all good news. It's all painted as good news, but they're clamping down on the surveillance state. Bill Gates, right at the foreground, saying they're going to have digital certificates for people. This is what is going to happen. And first of all, I don't even know what authority Bill Gates is speaking on. The guy's a computer software programmer, okay? And suddenly now he's the foremost expert on vaccines and pandemics. And the level of influence he has across the world. No, friends, no. He's a dangerous person. Dangerous person, especially with what he's promoting. And I guess it makes sense being in computers. What does he want to do? I mean, IBM, they're the ones that designed the numbering system to track the Jews in the Holocaust. So, I mean, you got PCs, you got Microsoft, you got the technology there to track people, you got the internet, you got GPS, you got all these things. It's all technology based. So, yeah, he would be the foremost authority on how to track and surveil individuals. And at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. They just want power and they want control. That's what they want. They may have all the money in the world, but if they can't control everybody, can't control their thoughts, their minds, and what they do and their actions, they don't have complete control. The pandemic gives them that. I mean, look at us. You know, how many days sheltering in place? We're losing our minds in our homes. And should we be? Like I said before, we have to have a healthy reality, a healthy respect for the fear, but we also have to understand what is exactly happening at the same time. So don't go outside. Don't make don't take unnecessary risks, but understand the big picture that's happening here. Yeah, it's a little casual today. Josh is filling in. He asked me specifically because he's not doing too good. His Patreons are down. He said, can I fill in on Monday? I said, yes. So that's why I'm here. It's casual Monday. But I'm going to have some reports I'm going to be filling out later today from the GCAS episode on Friday. But I wanted to just give you guys some of my thoughts on the article. I'll link to it in the description. And that's where I think we are, friends. So comment below. I'll see you with the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.
There is a solution using available technology today to fix the economic part of this problem. The solution is universal testing. What you want is every single person to get tested every day, and then they would wear a badge like they would after they voted or something like that.
Eventually, what we'll have to have is certificates of who's a recovered person, who's a vaccinated person, because you don't want people moving around the world where you'll have some countries that won't have it under control. Sadly, you don't want to completely block off the ability for those, people to go there and come back and move around. So eventually there will be sort of this digital immunity proof that, will help facilitate the global reopening up.